Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to today's video and welcome back to my channel. So I was going to wait to film this, but I'm just going to go ahead and get it done because I want to get this filmed and done because I really want to try these lashes that I just found in my collection, and that is so sad that I find stuff in my collection and I didn't know about, or I forgot about over the years. So today we are going to be talking about the case of Brittani Marcell, and I wanted to do this case because not only was justice served in this case, but karma was too. Sorry, my dad called me and I was like, you couldn't just text that to me on fucking Facebook Messenger? What in the world? I also do not have a phone, as I'm sure most of you guys know. I'm planning to get a phone tomorrow. Actually, I'll order a new phone. I'm just going to order an old iPhone. My brother has an old iPhone, an iPhone 5 that he got from eBay, so we're going to be iPhone buddies because I'm going to get the same one. Because, you know, I always try to match with my siblings, mostly my brothers. I'm very close to them. Anyways, Brittani Marcell was just a normal teenager living her life, and she was actually meeting her mom at her house for lunch when the savage attack happened. Brittany's mother, Diane, actually walked in and had seen her daughter on the ground, bloody, and she actually had seen the assailant, and he kind of like went at Diane. He had like tossed his shovel aside because Brittany was beaten with a shovel. And he tossed his shovel aside and went and got a knife and came at Diane with a knife. And so Diane left the house and went to a neighbor's. And that's where she called 911. And you can still look up the 911 call. It's, like always, still available. And she actually had one of her neighbors go back to the house with her, which was extremely smart because she was extremely worried about her daughter. So I can understand why she did that. Because I would be worried about my sons. So I understand why she went back to the house, even though people are kind of like, why? He could have still been there. But the assailant had actually left. He had broken a window. He was in such a hurry, he had broken a window from the inside of the house out, and in the process, he had left a single drop of blood. So when police got there, Brittany it was really, really bad. You know, obviously, they rushed her to a hospital where, you know, they had to perform multiple surgeries on Brittany just to keep her alive. But they had to perform multiple surgeries to keep Brittany alive, and it was determined that she had very minimal brain activity, so they put her in a coma. And they didn't think that she would really make it out of this coma, but luckily she did, and when she did wake up, I think it was 2 weeks later, she had no memory of the attack, and she actually said she thought that she had been in a car crash when she woke up. And it was very hard for her to adjust to the fact that somebody had beaten her senselessly with a shovel. I mean, it was bad. I mean, like the photos, you can look them up if you want to, just because I am not an editing queen. I have no idea about any of that. And they're also kind of graphic, so even if I was, I wouldn't feel comfortable putting them in this video, because they are kind of graphic. I'm using the Wet n Wild quad that they don't sell anymore and walking on eggshells. If you wish to recreate this look, it's quite simple if you have the 5-pan. I mean, this quad still works quite well. Yeah. It took a lot of work on Brittany and her family's part, but you know, they were able to get her, you know, I don't want to say she's okay, because she said it herself that she still to this day is recovering from the attack. So, she still says to this day that she is recovering from the attack, and it took a lot of surgeries. I think she had like 16 surgeries. She had to learn how to walk, talk, and eat again. So it was a very serious process, and she didn't actually end up remembering anything from the attack, and she really, really did try. And police, they really tried also, but, you know, I've talked about it before, like, police do have other cases, and, you know, a new case comes in probably every hour. if that, like maybe even every couple minutes they have new cases that they have to devote just as much time and attention to. So it's just really hard for police, and I just kind of wish people would remember that. But the Marcells, you know, like they were ride or die for this. They were trying their hardest. By the way, side note, I painted my nails yesterday and I gave my niece some nail kits. What are we thinking about the Sephora nail color? So anyways, Brittany had no they tried. They, you know, went through like so many different like suspects, and Brittany's mother was even able to give a little bit of a description of the assailant, so they actually did put this out there, and the lead it kind of led to some like leads, but nothing ever really panned out, and they were able to clear every single suspect. So what changed in this case was when the case got assigned to a new detectives like squad, and they really devoted their time to trying to figure out what had happened to Brittany and who had done it and why, which is awesome. Eventually, the idea was brought up by Brittany's mother, Diane, for Brittany to do hypnotherapy. And police were skeptical at first, which this is another reason why this case is so amazing. But Brittany really wanted to do it, and there was always that small chance in the back of police's mind that what if she wasn't repressing the memories because her brain was beaten so badly? What if it was just because of the trauma and she just didn't subconsciously want to remember it? So they decided to do it, and you can actually take a look at the video. It's, I would say, graphic in its own way, because she sits there and it's being filmed, and like she's shaking as she's literally reliving the attack on camera for like the hypnotherapist. So if you guys are curious about that, check it out. Brittany didn't say in this instance the name. However, she was able to give police a description. And so they made a new composite sketch. This case was also featured on America's Most Wanted, which is amazing, like crazy, because I mean, a ton of people watch America's Most Wanted. If you're into true crime, 9 times out of 10, you watched it. I remember watching it with my grandparents before my grandpa passed away. My first grandpa, on my mother's side, he passed away in 2008. So I remember actually, like, when they were down here, because they lived out of state, watching that show with my grandparents and my parents. This is the last time you guys will see me use this powder, because it is legit empty and I can't get any more out. So adding something else to my monthly empties. I work extremely hard to go through my empties. Of course, I used to film 3 different looks a day. Now I am only doing 1 different look a day, so I'm not going through makeup as fast as I used to. But still an accomplishment. That's just a side note. So back to the case. The detective actually had heard of something called Snapshot, and basically what Snapshot is, in case you don't know, is they can take a little bit of your DNA and they can create a profile, basically. Like, they can create a composite, the computer can create a composite sketch of what you are most likely to look like. And that's so, so cool when you think about it. This is the first case that I've covered that this has been used. So, in the time that they were waiting for the snapshot to come back, Brittany had gone home and she sat on it for a few days, and slowly her memories started to come back. And she said she didn't know why, but the name Justin Hansen kept coming up. So police decided to look into Justin Hansen, because they were like, okay, why is your name coming up? And that's when the snapshot came back, and it looked so eerily similar to Justin Hansen. The real problem with this case is that Justin Hansen has green eyes, and the snapshot of that DNA actually said that the person who owned that DNA had a high chance of having green eyes. However, Brittany and her mother, Diane, both said that the assailant had brown eyes. And, I mean, you can tell a difference between green and brown eyes. I mean, you can tell a difference. But police decided to still talk to Justin, and so that's what they did, and you can check it out. They have like body cams and stuff like that, so you can check out the footage. They had asked him for his DNA, and he denied it, which struck them as odd because they had talked to something like 2,000 suspects in this case, possible suspects, and every single one of them willingly gave up their DNA when asked, and Justin was the first one. He wanted to talk to his mom first, and he's such a mama's boy. I mean, like, Kai is a mama's boy. But he is such a mama's boy. They started looking into Justin's past because he was a father. And it turns out he actually does have, like, he's not a good guy. He did have a little bit of a criminal record. He had been accused of rape at one point. However, his girlfriend at the time had decided to drop the charges and continue dating him. I don't know what happened after that, though. Don't drop charges. If you were raped, they need to go to jail. That is a crime. And, you know, if and when y'all break up, because let's just be completely honest, you're gonna break up, you're not gonna be able to press charges. Rapists obviously are gonna use that as a technique to control their victims. And in Justin's case, it worked, unfortunately. So, police decided at that point that they were gonna follow Justin and try to get his DNA that way. And they pulled the oldest trick in the book. They followed him to a McDonald's, watched him eat, and he had a drink. And he finished his drink, and he threw it in the trash. And police walked right up to the trash and dug it out. And sent that off to the lab to get tested. It didn't take them long for the DNA to come back as a match to the blood found outside of the Marcell's house during Brittany's attack. And there's a video of Brittany finding out that the DNA did match Justin, and they finally had a name to her attacker. Now here's where the story is a little odd. The big thing is why did Justin attack Brittany? And I think a lot of people kind of believe that he was a little bit obsessed with her. So you see, Brittany used to have a friend named Abby that she used to hang out with, and Abby has a sister named Laura or Lauren or something, who was dating a guy named Justin Hansen at the time that Brittany would hang out there. She had actually just got pregnant by him. And so she would always see Justin Hansen just hanging out there. However, like most friendships, it fizzled out, and she stopped hanging out with Abby, and consequently, she stopped seeing Justin. However, Brittany had this job at at the mall, like a sunglass kiosk set thing where she would sell sunglasses. She was working at one of those kiosks where she would chase you down and she'd get you to buy them. And it was said that she was really, really good at this. She was really good at striking up conversations with people, and she was really good at getting people to buy sunglasses. And it was said that somebody had actually seen Justin Hansen walk up to Brittany at this kiosk and talk to her 3 or 4 times before the attack, and one of those times had lasted an hour. He had talked to her for an hour. So I think most people are kind of like on the side of he was kind of obsessed with her. So they obviously arrested Justin, and he goes to court. And he had decided, instead of going to trial, he decided to plead no contest, which he says is basically him taking a guilty plea without admitting his guilt. I guess that you can look at it that way. And he was sentenced to 18 years in jail. But he says that he still didn't do it. And I'm going to just pull a page out of Steve Wilkos' book and say, if you didn't do it, why did you take that and take the jail time? Because there has to be, if you didn't do it, there has to be a way for you to fight this. And, like, Steve Wilkos definitely determines guilt by if you fought or not, I would say. And if you're just kind of, like, willingly giving it up and taking a plea bargain, basically, then that's, like, your way of admitting you did it without admitting you did it. And Steve Wilkos is a former cop who I've been watching so much of his show lately, and I'm just more inclined to go his way, I guess. I mean, has been around criminals more than me, and he's been doing this longer. And if you watch his show, he tends to be right 99% of the time. I think I've only seen him be wrong once and shocked by the results once. He actually said he was shocked. So, about a week into Justin Hansen's sentence, this is where I say not only was justice served, karma was served. He actually got attacked by an inmate, and they said it was due to his high-profile case for attacking Brittani Marcell. And the video actually was released, so you can just check it out. It is kind of also brutal. But if you do decide to check it out, you can see how the attack started was the inmate went and punched him in the face. I mean, police do try to do their best, but they can't stop an attack like that at first. They have to get in between it. But he did get attacked. He does have a high-profile case, and I mean, there are instances where you have a high-profile case, and, you know, inmates are going to attack you for it. I did read somewhere that this is actually quite a common occurrence in prison. It tends to focus on men who have been convicted of either attacking a woman or hurting a child. They tend to be the most targeted in attacks like this. Okay, I'm gonna put false lashes on, but I have to cut these. These look so stinking pretty. Like, can you see how fluffy they are? They look so pretty. But I'm gonna put some mascara on first. So yeah, justice was served. Justin's mom still to this day proclaims his innocence and has even gone on TV crying, stating that she feels for the Marcells, but she also thinks that they should be 100% certain before they put somebody in jail. And the biggest thing with that is that Justin's DNA was found on the outside of the house. Again, I don't understand why, if he was innocent, why he didn't just take his chances with court. Because if you're going to jail, at least you can say you went down fighting for your innocence because you know you're innocent. Like, why did he take that plea deal? And not to mention, why didn't he give his DNA up when police originally had asked? The whole thing is just really skeptical to me, and I think that he is guilty. I mean, like, if you check out the composite sketches, oh my god. Anyways, that is today's case. I am going to put these on probably off camera because I have to trim them, and I don't know how I'm going to do that. I kind of think that this end is smaller than the other end, so I'm going to cut from that end. Okay, so I will be wearing these in future videos, but this is the first time I'll be wearing these. I am going to get back into false lashes because I love false lashes. I will be purchasing false lashes. In case you didn't know, I made a diamond at Ulta this month. So exciting. I have another 6 months of orders to do, but I'm not going to push myself to spend a shit ton of money unless there is a reason to. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys!